Magic fans, welcome back to your weekly installment of the Top 10. These are the hottest selling cards in Magic the Gathering this week from October 24th to the 31st of 2025. Just what is selling and how many? This is the place to check it out. Let's get it started. Welcome back everyone, MTG Moxman here, and thank you again for hanging out today for another edition of the Top 10. Now, before we get today's video started, a reminder that if you're shopping for any of these amazing cards, you're using TCGPlayer, don't forget to use my affiliate link. It is found in the description of all of my videos, but when you click that link and it takes you for your shopping experience at TCGPlayer, we do get a 3.5% kickback for the channel, which is pretty awesome. Let's dive into the number 10 card this week. We are going to Marvel's Spider-Man, and it's the Soul Stone. Now, this thing comes in with number 10, sure, but it had 1,127 sales. That's $81,966.71 of total sales action. Now, for the purposes of this video, I will be transparent. This does include the foil editions of the card for today's count. It is just a massive amount of cards, and I wanted to capture it correctly for you, so I'm letting you know in this section that yes, it is the regular edition plus the foil edition of this particular card. Just insane sales still, considering the price tag. Now, the Soul Stone is a real controversial piece right now. A lot of people don't think it's that great. It's not that good. There's mana rocks that are just as good right now, but a lot of people are focused on this card of what it's going to bring in the future, and that is keeping the value at a very premium price point right now. We're talking shoulder the apocalypse level, so keep this card in mind for your collections. I wouldn't sell it, that's for sure. Let's go ahead and take a look at the number 9 card this week. It is the Multiversal Passage. Now, this has been in the top 10 since Spider-Man broke, and you can see here it had 2,215 sales, or $16,612.50 of total sales action. Now, this card does continue to see a real strong sales resilience. Like, no matter how much we got going, this thing keeps appearing on the top 10. That tells you that players are planning for the future with this card, and they understand that the value of this card is not just tied to the price, but the playability factor of what this card is going to give you, not just now, but in the future, even when it rotates out, especially Commander. Now, the Multiversal Passage is not fetchable, unfortunately. It's just a land. But as this land enters, you choose a basic land type, and then you can pay 2 life, and if you don't, well, it enters tapped. But if you do pay the 2 life, it's untapped. You get the exact mana you need each and every time, which is why it's seeing so much standard play right now. An amazing card. And you know what? For this price point, it makes sense to pick up at least 4. I like it. I've already got my 4. I don't have to worry, but I'm just letting you know where this card stands. Let's go ahead. Let's keep pumping this party, and let's go check out the spectacular Spider-Man Borderless Edition. And yeah, you know, Spider-Man's doing really well right now. 2,740 sales, $15,000 of sales action. And why do we think Spider-Man's doing well? Well, I'm really not sure of every factor to consider here. We can talk about the financial, the fact that the cards are starting to run out and people are picking up copies now while they're cheap, the sheer amount that are in the market space, or maybe Avatar and upcoming sets. People are starting to see synergies or deck construction ideas that they want to get their hands on now in case the price does recover. So an amazing kind of area of time to be in, because the sales really pumped up this week. Now, the spectacular Spider-Man, this thing can have flash. It's a low casting cost. It can be sacrificed, so you give your creatures hexproof and indestructible. There's a lot of little fun things that this card is going to do for you, and you know what? You can even give it flying if you have to, which is kind of nice. Spider-Man can be your catch-all, be-all to make things happen for your deck. An amazing card. Low casting cost will keep this thing pumping out for a long time. Let's keep going on this thing. Let's check out our next card, and it is Edge of Eternities Ice-Till Explorer. This card comes in at number 7 this week, and it has 2,780 sales. That's a strong market demand for this card at $40,310 of sales action for a modern card. Now, I know this card is starting to appear on a lot of wish lists inside places that don't have the card. If it doesn't belong to the store already, it's going to be sold out even if it got in there, okay? People have wish lists kind of spreading for a whole 50, 60, 70 people at some stores, hoping this card comes in so they can kind of add it to their deck that they're trying to finish building for standard. Guys, it's insane to see how much this thing is still going. Edge of Eternities, right? Who knew? Such a great set. Now, the Ice-Till Explorer comes in. This thing's a forecasting cost, but it lets you play an additional land on each of your turns. You can also play lands from your graveyard. It has landfall whenever land enters that you have. You get to mill a card, which of course in the right deck constructed idea, the right build around, you're going to have a lot of fun using this card. And let's not forget what that, earthbending thing is going to do. Now, for our next one, we've got the Loading Zone. Loading Zone was on the first week or two of Edge of Eternity's release, and then it kind of faded out. It jumps in this week with 3,120 sales, or $5,740.80 of total sales action. This is a real surprise to me to see it jump up this high in the market this week, and of course the price is very dirt cheap, so as much as I'm surprised, I can understand that when a card's this cheap, if people buy 20 copies, it's only $40 or less to get that many copies. It can really move the market and show a lot of uptick in its actual sales demand. But that doesn't mean the playability is the same thing. So what does this playability give us? Let's remember that it's a 4 casting cost. 1 green, 3 other. If 1 or more counters would be put on a creature, spacecraft, or planet you control, put twice that many counters as... Guys, this is crazy. Wait a second. Did it say creatures? Well, what creatures are coming up that may have need of a card like this, and this thing has warp as well? Don't underestimate Edge of Eternities. Let's keep going. Our next card is Lorien Revealed. Yeah, Tales of Middle-earth. Now, I did a video yesterday talking about just how many cards are selling from this Tales from Middle-earth set. This thing had 3,390 sales. That's $19,492 of sales action. This thing is at $2.80. Guys, this is an amazing card. And there's a lot of people out there now speculating in this market of the Middle-earth section of Magic, okay? All this Universe Beyond product, it's starting to disappear. It's starting to be bought. Check out yesterday's video if you're really interested in finding out more. There's a lot to cover with this, and it's kind of insane to see where these sales are going. Now, this one does say draw 3 cards, but it's got the island cycling, which a lot of people liked back in the day, and I think we're going to keep seeing this thing have action, okay? This one is one of the ones that we talked about a long time ago. It doesn't have to be expensive. It just has to be playable. And this is definitely one of those cards that shapes up into some amazing decks. Now let's go on down the line and see what comes next. And it is the Weftwalker Ardent. Now, this is a $1.19. Didn't expect to see this one from Edge of Eternities either. It jumps in with 3,578 sales, or $4,257.82 of total sales action. Now, when I looked at the Weftwalker before, when we saw this thing on pre-order time, the pre-release section, spoiler season, it still looked pretty good back then, but a lot of players have been jumping on board with this one, and a lot of copies really started moving in the market. And it only gets higher from here, so stay tuned because this top 10 is kind of crazy. Now, with the Ardent Weftwalker here, okay, you can see it's a 3 casting cost. You got 1 red, 2 other. It's a Drix Artificer with a 2/3. Whenever another artifact or creature you control enters, this creature deals 1 damage to each opponent. So yeah, you can use it in Commander. Yes, this thing has warp, which means if the right builds, the right deck, it's going to be a game-ending card. And it's super cheap, so why not buy copies for the future? You can see where we're going with this. Now, for our next card, we are taking a look at Chameleon Master of Disguise. That is Marvel Spider-Man again. This one has had massive surges in sales week on, week off. Okay, 3,740 sales is the number this week. That's $1,645.60 of total sales action. But when we look at a card like this and you look at how playable it is, I love the idea that not every card is always expensive and that sometimes it just is playable. Now, the 44 cents is not a big deal. This thing was at the height, I think, like $5. It is totally crashed down. But as it has crashed, just more players are buying it. And they're buying it at a cheap price. And because the price isn't going up, it just tells you how much is out there in the market. It is a 4 casting cost. 1 blue and 3 other. It can be splashed into a lot of different decks. But you can have the Chameleon enter as a copy of a creature you control, except his name is Chameleon Master of Disguise. This thing also has Mayhem. Guys, there's a lot going on with cards like this that players underestimate. Being able to copy the right creature and cause triggering effects is just insane. I love this stuff. All right, now our next card, we're going back in the day. Urza's Cave, Modern Horizons 3. Has an average price of $2.25. It sold 4,123 copies. That is $9,276.75 of total sales action. What is going on here? I don't know, but the sales on this one just blew my socks off. I literally don't have socks on right now. You have to take my word for it, but that's the way it's going to be. Now, that average price of $2.25, we remember this thing on pre-order being $10, and it sold at $10 for a while. Then it dropped to like 6, 7, 5, then 3, then 5, then 2, and here is where we're at with this card. Now, let's not forget what this is going to do for you, okay? Urza's Cave is unique. It is an Urza's Cave, which means it's an Urza land. Now, you can sacrifice Urza's Cave to search your library for a land card. Put it on the battlefield tapped. It does just say land. It didn't say basic. So it lets you get any land in your deck. And I guess people are saying, you know what? It's a pretty good card. We're going to talk about that one at the end of the video. Now, diving into our next card, the number one card this week. This is the Insight Engine. I did a video on this just yesterday. This one had continued sales. We're at 4,328 sales, or $64,920 of total sales action for this card. This is a phenomenal number coming out of the blue. Again, we're talking about Edge of Eternities. We're not talking Spider-Man. We're not jumping into something else. It is Edge of Eternities kind of dominating about half the field today, and it's kind of insane to see how many sales we're seeing. $15 is the average price for this card. It had a high of 20 last week, but it's been sinking down as people and as the market and supply kind of meet itself out. It's coming down in price, which is fantastic. Now, the Insight Engine is 1 blue and 2 other. It's an artifact that states for 2, you can put a charge counter on a target artifact, then draw a card for each charge counter. Well, I guess that kind of works with Loading Zone, doesn't it? It kind of works with a few other cards, too. It's kind of insane to see what synergy can be found in a top 10 just because so many people are buying the similar cards. It's insane. Now, let's talk about what just happened in the market this week. Stronger than normal sales this week are a result of the synergy between Avatar: The Last Airbender and, of course, Edge of Eternities. It lets players know these sets were meant to be together, and a lot of the mechanics are going to be just working in tandem with each other. An amazing experience for players to build with. Also, the price is right for so many of these cards coming in below what we would expect to pay, that a lot of players are taking advantage of that, getting extra copies. Spider-Man's kind of on its way out in terms of its sales. They are falling, although there are some strong contenders like the Soul Stone that continue to linger and hang in there, as well as Spectacular Spider-Man. That's where the market is at this week. It's a very strong market, surprisingly enough, not related to Spider-Man, but with an upcoming set that players look like they're really starting to look forward to. Guys, drop some comments in the comment section. Let me know what you think. And of course, thank you again for stopping by the channel today. I do have my reserve list top 10 video tomorrow, as well as my live stream, 6:30 Eastern Standard Time. If you want to hang out with the Moxman, just come on, stop on by. Guys, have a great one. Hey guys, thanks again for stopping by the channel. A big shout out and a thank you to the fantastic patrons of my channel, because without those patrons, daily uploaded content would not be possible. Patrons, YouTube membership members, you're the ones that make it happen here, supporting the Moxman. Thanks again, everyone. We'll be back tomorrow. Have a great one. Welcome back to the Ramble Jamble. Only a few of you make it this far. You know who you are. Now, Urza's Cave. A lot of us are all thinking, what just happened? Now, the good news is, if Urza's Cave gets a huge uptick and becomes some insane price, don't worry about it. I think the copies I got here on the channel are $1 each. If you're on my Patreon, you can buy a copy for $1. That's all it's going to cost you. I'll put it in an envelope. I'll mail it out to you. Just a regular letter envelope. That's it. I'll send it to you. Okay? Don't worry about it. We have some on the channel from the cards I was buying for the channel, so don't worry. We have some copies available. It was very hilarious and funny to see it. I just kept counting and going, this is taking too long. The numbers are really high. This doesn't make sense. Is this right? And you start backtracking and checking. You're like, yep. Some very strong sales. Now, a little side note. Somebody else has noticed this. Somebody else. Or a scalper's getting involved. Because what happened was, a couple of individual stores that had like, say, 20, 30 copies, they all started getting cleared out. So then when I checked with some of the US people, and they checked their store, and they're like, well, we had some copies, but they all got bought. So who's buying copies in Canada, but also buying copies in the States, and then hits card market? Interesting. Very interesting. Guys, small stores that had 1 or 2 copies didn't get bothered, but anyone who had a surplus supply, a whole bunch kind of grouped together, they bought them all as one big chunk. Surprisingly, TCGPlayer had a lot of sales, but not nearly as much as you would expect for this kind of volume. Fascinating times for Urza's Cave. Guys, this ramble and jamble is done. See you later.